Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nastapraye Shabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, Text 6. Evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrutehe puman katrutvam prakruteh puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunaihi atmani manyate gunairatmani manyate evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate.
Evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate. Evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate. Evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate. Evam parabidhyanena prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate. Evam parabidhyanena katrutvam prakrute puman karmasu kriyamaneshu gunairatmani manyate.
In this way, para, ada, abhidhyanena, by identification, katrutvam, the performance of activities, prakrute, of the material nature, puman, the living entity, karmasu kriyamaneshu, while the activities are being performed, gunaihi, by the three modes, atmani, to himself, manyate, he considers. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: because of his forgetfulness, the transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activities, and thus actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself. Please repeat. Because of his forgetfulness, the transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activities, and thus actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The forgetful living entity can be compared to a man who is under the influence of disease and has become mad, or to a man haunted by ghosts who acts without control and yet thinks himself to be in control. Under the influence of material nature, the conditioned soul becomes absorbed in material consciousness. In this consciousness, whatever is done under the influence of the material energy is accepted by the conditioned soul as self-actuated. Actually, the soul is in its pure state of existence, should be in Krishna consciousness. When a person is not acting in Krishna consciousness, he is understood to be acting in material consciousness. Consciousness cannot be killed, for the symptom of the living entity is consciousness. The material consciousness simply has to be purified. One becomes liberated by accepting Krishna as the Supreme Lord, as Master, and by changing the mode of consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness. The Sanstha Bhaktivedanta Parvato Madhyanatimirandhasya Ananjana Shalakaya Chachuran Militam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are understanding the fundamental principles of material nature as explained by Lord Kapila to his mother Devahuti. In the last verse we have seen how the material nature creates the varieties of forms, and the jiva becomes illusioned by seeing these forms by jnana guhaya, by the knowledge covering feature. So here Kapila Muni is further explaining how the living entity is fooled in this material nature. Evam parabidhyanena, the living entity is the main disease. The root disease is parabidhyanena, identification with this body. This is called bodily concept. Concept means idea. So bodily concept means he thinks that he is this body. You can see this things, he thinks. So this is called concept or idea. In the thinking, what will you think? You think about ideas. So when somebody thinks that is this body, that is parabidhyanena, identification. I am this body is the root cause of all the maladies, all the problems here. Then what happens when he thinks that he is this body? Katrutvam prakrute puman. Material nature is actually doing all the activities of this body, but karmasu kriyamaneshu, but the jiva thinks he is doing all those activities. Gunair atmani manyate, he thinks himself as the doer. So the Prabhupada is explaining in the translation, because of his forgetfulness, The transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activities, and thus actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself. So we have to understand these fundamental principles of material nature. What is our existence? We are not this body, but we should know this body. We cannot be in ignorance of what is this body and mind, and we cannot be in ignorance of how this material nature works. A devotee of Krishna cannot be in ignorance, particularly Krishna's creation. This is all Krishna's creation. We are all his devotees, and we are in certain bodies. We are in this world. So a devotee of the Lord is keen to understand this body and mind and this material nature all around us in order to glorify Krishna. If we want to do more and more service to the Lord, then we have to understand these fundamental principles of material nature. So what is happening here? The first point is everything is done by material nature. Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha. All the activities of the body and mind are done by the material nature only. Each and every activity. Now I am saying like this. No, this is, I am thinking, I am doing this. But actually, this is done by the material nature. In this body and mind, there are many things we don't even know how they are going on. For example, in the morning we had a little bit of a sweet rice after Mangalarti. And then, so we feel a nice satisfaction. And after some time, again we start feeling hungry. That means the sweet rice is digested. And then we are waiting for breakfast. As soon as we say breakfast, in the mind you'll see steaming idlis and sambar. Immediately there is a water, and then there is a hunger, right? Happening. So you have no control on how the food is digested, how the hunger is generated, and how the colorful pictures appear in your mind. You have no idea. All these things are happening, done by the material nature. So for a conditioned soul who identifies with his body, everything is done by the material nature. If everything is done by material nature, let us say somebody commits a murder. If everything is done by material nature, then why he is arrested? And why he is given punishment? You can say, maine nahi kiya, prakriti ne kiya. I have not done, only the material nature has done. The point is, in this mind-body system, in this is called kshetra. Here it is said, his field of activities. Kshetra means field of activities. So, everything is done by the nature, but there are certain elements on which we can gain control. It is not that we are helplessly pushed towards some activities and we have really, absolutely there is no control. No. And on the other hand, I have full control on my mind and body and everything, and that is also not a fact. No control, or I have absolute control, that these two are extremes, and it's not there. That is not true. There are certain things that are given which can be controlled by us. So generally what happens, in the inside this body, the soul is seated as an observer. He is known as Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna means he is seated as an observer and is looking at the control panel, the mind, Chittam, which is showing all the images, all kinds of directions. Like other day we are driving the car, some donor sent one car and we don't know what is the direction. Then immediately, nowadays, there is one little box is there, some screen is there, and he's talking to that, open the Google Maps, show me the direction to so-and-so location, he said. As soon as he said, something opened up, and then it is showing the map, and then everybody is absorbed in that map. And if it is moving like this, is moving like this, is moving like this, is going. So the soul is like that. It is looking into the mind, which is called a mirror. Actually, it's like a screen, like a TV screen. It's a mirror only, but it is a TV screen. It is showing some things. Screen is also mirror only, no? Front is mirror, and then from behind you are seeing many things are coming up. So when the mind comes up, and it will recommend, it will induce you. But let us say you see one, now only let us say there is somebody is carrying prasadam, and you see all the nice smell and all those things coming. Inside the mind, okay, I'll give you this example. Say, let us say we see an opposite sex. Immediately the mind is recommending something. It comes up with an idea. Yes, you please see the object. This is how you can enjoy the object. And then without much endeavor, we just see the object, and the mind tends to enjoy the features of the opposite sex. So the soul, if you analyze, whatever the mind has recommended, it has followed, and it is seeing the sense object, and it is analyzing the features, and it is completely absorbed. Now in this entire sequencing, you see some object came, then inside there is a kind of a craving, there is a suggestion that you see, and then our response is we immediately saw, and then we are analyzing whether the sense object is beautiful or attractive. We are analyzing. That's the final. And then if it is something attractive, although we see first time almost unconsciously, second time we will see again. Third time we see again. So this is, somebody is under the control of the mind. The mind is saying see, then you are saying see. So if you follow, so that's why here it is Prabhupada is saying, the living entity accepts the influence of the material energy. Now material energy is running this body. And it is showing it is suggesting. Now you see this object, and immediately you are seeing. So you are accepting the influence of the material energy. Please understand. We are continuously under the influence of material energy, this material nature. And then how are you accepting? As your field of activities. It is part of my activity. It is a field on which I have control. It is a field on which I can enjoy. I am the Lord of all I survey within that field. This is how the soul thinks. So you are accepting the influence and you are thinking, this is my field of activities. I have control, I can enjoy. And Prabhupada is saying here, thus actuated, self-actuation. Now this sentence we have to understand. Self-actuated means what? So when the mind is suggesting, look, you are actuated. That means you accept that, and then you look. So this is called self-actuation. The matter is controlling the soul. The matter is pushing the soul. You see like this, you think like this, you eat like this, you do like this. Everything it is pushing. So when it pushes, you are actuated. Yes. So at some level, soul is accepting. You accept the influence and say yes. As soon as the soul says yes, then automatically the eyes move and you see the object and you think, yes, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. I know all those feelings will come. So anybody who is, so Prabhupada is saying, thus actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself. Activity is done by the nature, but he thinks, I am seeing, I am enjoying, I am eating. Actually, I am means the soul. Soul is not eating. The machine, the body is eating, and the soul is thinking, yes, I am eating. So all those activities are wrongly applied to himself. So you have to clearly see there are two things here, Deha and Dehi. They have distinct activities. Deha is fully under the control of material energy, material nature, and this Deha is controlled by it. And there is a Dehi inside, that is soul. And soul is only a knower. It knows. That's all. It is knowing. So, if we are actuated by suggestions of the mind, then the jiva will always be in bondage. The material nature gains control on the living entity completely. So as you go on accepting the influence of the mind and the energy on us, we remain Godasa. That means whatever the mind says, whatever the senses says, we try to follow. Such people, why they are doing like that? As if they have no control. Evam paravidhyanena. They have identified completely that I am this body, I am this mind. Whatever mind says, I have to listen to it. I am helpless. Whatever mind suggests, I have to go by it. I am helpless. So now this is not a proper thinking. This is identification with mind body. So a devotee, once he comes into Krishna consciousness, the first thing that he observes is, he sees his mind separate. He is able to see that, oh, my mind is trying to pull me. Maya is trying to pull me away from Krishna. So he observes that, starts observing, right? And he comes to know that in fact in the beginning days, all the suggestions of the mind are completely Maya. So a devotee, he learns, if the mind says yes, he will say no. Now here is the secret. If mind is suggesting something and you are actuated, you accept and you are agreeing to it, then you have no control. You are dragged towards some sense object or some enjoyment or some situation. You are dragged. Such people feel there is no freedom, there is no free will. He will feel like that. But if you want to gain control on body and mind, there are some areas in which you can control. The first thing that you have to learn is to say no to the mind's dictation. If the mind is proposing, for example, in the beginning days, somebody, let us say, he was addicted to smoking, and then he comes newly into Krishna consciousness, smoking a cigarette or whatever, BD or whatever, and then he comes in contact with Krishna consciousness, and then he hears that no, this is not good. Actually, most of the people know, whoever is smoking cigarette, on the packet itself they put very unpleasant pictures. How it appears when you smoke, how your mouth becomes, your throat becomes, all those things they have already mentioned. He knows, but still is not able to see, because of para abhidhyanena. You are under the control of somebody else. That is material nature. And so he knows that he should not do, but still the mind and body are dragging. No, do this. We are dragged. So sometimes he falls for it, although he knows the knowledge, but he falls for it because the pressure of the mind body is too high. Maya is too strong. So one should know that Maya is very strong. Living entity is very small. Okay, so, but Maya has one interesting phenomena. For example, Maya comes and suggests something in the mind, and you will say, you accept, yes, and that's called self-actuated. And then, for example, you eat something, let us say that person smokes again. He is not supposed to, but he smokes again. And if somebody asks him, why are you smoking? He will say, yes, I am a chain smoker. I am a stylish smoker. He will smoke like this and he'll create some circles like this. He's already in big Maya and he's creating circles like that. I'm a stylish smoker, he will say. I'm a chain smoker, he will say. Once we went to meet one minister. He's actually an aviation minister. Aviation means, all the flights are under him. And when we are talking to him, the secretary or somebody was telling us, Swamiji, quickly finish in 2 minutes and you should go. And we saw that he is completely free. He's sitting there. Why we have to finish it in 2 minutes? We are not understood. And we said okay. And then we are talking to him, and then he is also showing interest, and we are talking. 2 minutes crossed. We saw the minister is restless. 3rd minute passed by, 4th minute passed by. He is very uncomfortable. We are thinking, what happened? On one side, he is nicely listening to whatever we are saying, but somehow he is a little uncomfortable. And in the 5th minute, he suddenly took out one cigarette and then started smoking in front of us. That is a embarrassment that he had. That's why secretary told after 2 minutes you should go away. Because he cannot hold beyond that. He's a chain smoker. When he's traveling in the flight, he's a minister. In the flight they'll tell you should not smoke in the toilet or washroom. And there are smoke detectors are there. And there only he goes, the minister. He's an aviation minister. He goes into this thing and then he'll be smoking. Why? Because this pressure of this matter on us, this Maya is not ordinary. Extraordinary. Goes on. You become activated. Against your own interest you get activated. And you agree to do. You give your consent. Then material nature will do everything. Once you accept and say yes, then the nature will do everything. But who is responsible? You, because you gave the consent. When Maya came and suggested, Khavo, already you ate half a dozen rasgullas. Now 7th one is asking, Khavo. And let us say you say yes. And automatically everything goes up. And now who is responsible afterwards if you get vomiting or some diarrhea, lose motion or whatever? Who is responsible? You, because you gave the permission. So a living entity has to be proactive. He cannot say, no, मेरा हाथ में कुछ भी नहीं है. No, you have to decide what to reject. If the mind is saying, you do this, a devotee, a practicing devotee should say, no, I don't like this proposal, get lost. Then it will go back and colorfully it changes itself. Maya is very tricky. Huh? For example, it comes with a sari, then say, no, reject. Then goes back and puts one more dress. And comes back and say, how is this now? No. I reject. Then it goes back and puts one more dress nicely and comes, how is it now? Now this looks okay. Pakado. Then immediately it catches you. Acha, you want this? Okay. I will do this for you. You accepted no? Now everything will happen. Prakrite kriyamanani gunaya karmani sarvasaha. Then everything it does. You cannot say in the end, no, actually I don't wanted this. You cannot say because you already gave consent to the body. Of course, sometimes the pressure of Maya is so high, the person doesn't feel that he has any freedom. He is completely parabhidhyanena, identification is so strong, it is just drag. Animals are like that. They are completely under the control of the material nature. They have no freedom like that. Completely. Nature says go like that. That's all. But a human being has an opportunity of this control. How? By changing his consciousness. Only by changing his consciousness he can regain his control. Since devotee has developed Krishna consciousness, he is able to see his mind, he is able to see the proposals of the mind, and he is able to say no. For example, on Ekadashi day, many devotees, they fast at least up to afternoon. Now, why he is able to fast? Now, already it's 8:45, we're already feeling hungry, we're looking for breakfast and this and that. On that day, Ekadashi day, 8:45, what happens? Again you will feel hungry. But what do? You say, no. No to that urge. Mind is proposing, Khao. Then you are saying, no, today I am fasting. This is called tapas. By the power of tapas, a living entity can transcend the influence of this material energy. By the Krishna conscious tapas, you can say, no, I will not. But let us say, despite knowing this philosophy, despite knowing what is good for him, a devotee is not able to give up these attachments, then Krishna is watching. He is seeing that because of this parabidhyanena, this boy, this living entity is not able to give up the attachment. Then it is said that if that devotee is sincere, then what Krishna does is, he shows special favor in order to take him out of that attachment. Because on his own he is not able to, because of the parabidhyanena, identification is very strong. He is not able to come out. So at that time, Krishna shows a very special favor. And of course, for the outsiders, like Prabhupada explains his own example, when Krishna showed special favor, what happened? Krishna took away all the money. Outside, what are they attached to? Paisa, money. So when Krishna wants to show special favor, he takes away for that devotee everything. That money he takes away. Then, because money is gone, own family members, own friends, own relatives will reject him. You are a useless fellow. When all of them rejects, he feels so bad. He goes through a turmoil. And then in that helplessness, because he is already a devotee, he surrenders to Krishna more. Actually, ultimate goal is what? To surrender to Krishna fully. But he is not able to do because of the identification. So then Krishna shows him special favor. For missionaries, he may push them into some difficult, say, health issue or this issue or whatever issues, and then that devotee becomes helpless, and then he surrenders to Krishna. He catches hold of Krishna's lotus feet and he cries, "My Lord, I have no other option. Please bless me. Don't push me away. After so many lives, I got this opportunity to be under your shelter. Don't push me away. Maya is trying to push me away. Take me away. Please protect me." This is when a devotee cries to Krishna in the form of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. In that helplessness, his chanting will be very good. It is said that Janmaishwarya Shuta Shri Edamana Purusha Puman Naivarhati Abhidatum Vai Twamakinchana Gochara. Kunti Devi says, if somebody is very satisfied with Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri, with his education, with his wealth and with his position, he cannot feelingly say Govinda. That feeling won't come. But let us say he is pushed into one corner. That is very special favor of Krishna. He knows my devotee is my devotee. He is asking all foolish things. He is attached to all the foolish things. And Krishna knows, yes, I have to somehow bring him back to me. Very intelligently he will push him towards, in a circumstance and in which a devotee completely surrenders to Krishna. My Lord, I have no other option than you. Till now I am thinking here and there, thoda option hai mera. Maybe Maya is suggesting, this is okay, that is okay. I am thinking, now I understood, I have no other choice. Let me surrender more. So, for a Krishna conscious devotee, the Lord becomes the the guide, the friend, the master, and he specially favors the devotee so that he becomes more and more devoted to Krishna. Okay, so Guru and Krishna are there with us. Always they are there. We are not realizing. So if you can realize that Guru and Krishna are always with us, that is called Krishna consciousness. And by their help, for example, if Maya is suggesting something, immediately devotee should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And reject. Don't accept that. And if Maya is pushing little fast, you also chant fast, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Outside people think, what is happening to Swamiji? Let them think whatever they think. We want to become real Swamijis, not Godasa, Goswamiji. Goswami means he has understood how to control his body, his senses, and his mind. So you exercise your free will and be Krishna conscious and reject these illusory proposals of mind. And the secret to all this is absorption in your service. Absorption in devotional service to Krishna is a secret. Either chanting or hearing or whatever. Like Bhagavatam, in the beginning there is a shloka. What is that? Drusta evatmanishvare. Once as somebody goes on listening to Bhagavatam, the knots in the heart are released. Our attachment is there, no? That becomes slackened, becomes loose. And then one starts seeing Eva Atmani Ishvare as Swami of the body and mind. We should be able to come to that stage. And that happens by regularly, repeatedly hearing Bhagavad. Yeah. Otherwise, this Maya will influence many. And that influence we accept. We think today I am very dull. Actually, you are not dull. Soul is never dull. Today, I am actually no enthusiasm, or I am having some negative feelings. These are all your mind's create. It is creating all the illusions. Like abragadabra, and then you get hypnotized. We are actually getting hypnotized. This is the problem. But if you can send this Shabda, transcendental Shabda, your internal, that Maya's hypnotic words, those sounds are removed and Guru and Bhagavatam sounds are planted inside. Then one becomes free. As you replace your old concepts, bodily concepts, with Krishna consciousness concepts, then you become free more and more. Please understand, freedom comes by devotional service of hearing and chanting Bhagavatam, or holy names, or pastimes of Krishna. Go on doing this. One day you will find that you have a lot of freedom and you can reject all the attractions easily. Any questions? Yeah.
So, Prabhu, any task, it may be thinking, feeling, willing, and then action. So, the conditioned soul, chosen by conditioned soul, so it is because of his destiny only. If you say yes, then joining this Srimad Bhagavatam's community also is destiny or his choice?
So, how the destiny is coming into picture. So the soul, we know, it always wants to be an enjoyer and a controller. It wants to be the controller. And but just now we have heard Maya does everything. But the Jiva feels that he is doing everything. See, you should know, this is called Maya. Maya means what? Which is not. What is not here? He is not the controller, but he thinks he is the controller. He is not doing, whole body is controlled by Maya, nature is doing, but he thinks he is doing. I am the doer. Like if somebody goes and says, wonderful class, Prabhu, you gave, what a class. Yes, I sometimes, yes, I did this. I only did this, this building, I only did this. Outside people's language, you see, when you observe their language, this is what they say. I mean, how smartly I have finished, like that you will say. But actually, everything is done by his body. Now, can the body do everything? Whatever the soul desires? No. That's where the destiny comes. Let us say everybody wants to become, say, Prime Minister. Can it happen? No, it will not happen. His body is limited by the destiny, the capacities. To that extent it will do. So, more and more we realize that actually, many things are done by nature, many things are done by the Vaishnavas around me. There is a big team which is working, and as a whole, we are all trying to do something. What we can do? We only desire, and then take some initiative. Yes, I want to do. So that initiative, when the devotees take, then you will see the things will start happening, but not by the material nature, but by the spiritual nature. The internal potency takes over. When a devotee decides to do something for Krishna, then the internal potency takes over. And the result that comes is extraordinarily multiplied. Otherwise, if it is under material nature, it is very not easy to get that result. I'll quickly tell one little example and close. In the beginning days, when we are planning to do this service of construction, at that time for construction you need a permission. Local GHMC permission is required, right? And the circumstances are such a way that we have to start the construction quickly. Enemies are planning in various ways to take over this land and use it for their own nefarious activities. So devotees are anxious that they have to do something quickly. So that means you have to get the permission quickly. Correct, no? So then we asked our well-wishers, we have to start the construction in next 10 days. We have to get the permission also. Yes, Swamiji, 10 days. If you apply today, minimum 6 months to 1 year. That much time minimum it will take, because they also have to scrutinize many things. Of course, nowadays technology and all that is quite faster, but those days, I'm talking about some 10, 12 years back. So then we decided that we have to do something to expedite this process. So we prepared our documents, went to the office, GHMC office, and submitted this and requested, sir, please do this quickly. He also said, yes, Swamiji, ho jayega. But no, ho jayega means it may not happen also. So what the devotee used to do, every day, I told him, you go every day to the GHMC office. and you carry, our powerful weapon, kaja, and wherever the file is, that table you go. And that person, you go on feeding him. Kaja. So morning devotee goes to that place, he gives prasadam and just sits there. That's all. He will not ask anything about the file. That person is saying, oh my God, Swamiji is here. Okay, Swamiji, what is your file? And then, so before we submitting the file to the office, we spoke to GHMC commissioner. He said, Swamiji, minimum it will take 3-4 months. I will also tell clearly like that. And you don't believe the devotee was every day is going and giving prasad and this and that and all that. In 8 days, 7 to 8 days, we got the final permission. The file came back to the commissioner. And then our devotee again met commissioner. Sir, the file is with you. No, I already sent it off. It will take some 4-5 months. No, sir, it has come back for your final signature. He was shocked. He himself was shocked. My department is so effective. In 8 days, it has come back. So he signed, and then we have permission with us in 10 days. This is called spiritual energy. No calculation, material calculations. Materially, what it takes for 4-5 months, it happened in 10 days. Why? Because devotees have decided to do their service for Krishna's pleasure. So when the Krishna's pleasure is involved, a different energy works. That energy is called internal energy. We come under the shelter of Radharani. And then things will go on very nicely. Okay, so devotee's first sankalpa is before doing anything, this is for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Let me follow Guru's direction. For the pleasure of Krishna, let me work. Then, he endeavors his best. Then you will see one day, very pleasant result will come. It could be our internal issue, or it could be outside issue, internal project or outside project. A devotee finds in a very pleasant situation very soon. But he has to go on putting his endeavor, go on doing his duty. Go on doing his duty, one day things will be very pleasant. So we'll stop here. So Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.